Whole Story Audio presents an unabridged recording of Gallowstree Lane by Kate London, narrated by Adjoa Andoh.
Author's note. Special thanks to Sheldon and Michelle Thomas from the charity Gangs Line, who shared their experience, understanding and passion so generously. Afterwards. Friday, 4th of November, 2016. Detective Inspector Sarah Collins had set off before dawn, whipping round London's arterial roads, thundering along the motorway, and then winding down country lanes to the Saxon church that lay, through a gate and along a path, on the brow of a small hill. The hedgerows and trees were flaming with late colour. More than 30 minutes remained before the funeral. She slid the car seat back and drank her flask of tea. Caroline had offered to come with her, but it felt wrong to be so intimately together, so soon after they had separated. She sighed and pressed the heels of her hands against her eyes. The only sound now was birdsong. When she was only 16, Sarah's sister had died. Susie's boyfriend Patrick had been driving too fast and lost control on a sharp bend. It was no more than a moment's misjudgment, a youthful thrill at the power of the car he had borrowed for the day, but in an instant her sister was as dead as if Patrick had taken a knife and killed her. Sarah sighed again. It was tiresome to think of this, so many years later, and at such a very different funeral. But you can't control what comes into your mind. Perhaps it was Susie's youth when she died, or perhaps it was the vast sadness that Sarah felt now, expanding inside her like air. The body is not a fairy tale. Sometimes it does not survive an impact or a stab wound or the bullet from a gun. She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand and tidied her flask away. Into her mind had stepped the children who would follow the hearse today. There was no remedy for the loss of a parent. That was the thing she could not handle. When she was at work, Sarah could do her best to deliver justice. But today, what could she contribute? She would sit alone at the back of the church, pay her respects, bother no one. Other cars had started to arrive. They bounced up the bank and parked and spilled their occupants onto the verges. The funeral today was for a police officer, and so many of the mourners were also police. They were easy to recognise from their best behaviour attitude and their smart...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?